Action item I, administrative salaries, that the board approve a 2.5% increase in salaries for the superintendent, high school principal, and middle school principal.
Mr. President, I make a motion to postpone this indefinitely.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Okay. You need to do a roll call on this.
Discussion.
Or discussion. Discussion.
Yeah, I'd like to leave the original motion on there as it's stated. And I guess my question is, after we vote on this one, can we put this one back on there the way Roger made the motion? I'm not voting against the veterans like Mr. Marshall suggested we would be. I believe in the veterans. But last month, we had 4 people get up and talk, and they all, you know, were strongly in support of the administration and the board. So I'd like to see this motion stay on this way.
What has changed since the first vote?
I have no idea.
Well, I have been told that once the board makes a decision, even though we don't like it, we stand with the decision.
With that motion. This is a different motion.
How is it different?
The last motion was 0, this is a different number. Sure, you can make a motion anytime you want.
Yeah, legally we can. And I did contact our attorneys to make sure that this is legal, and I talked to Mark about that too.
And I think this motion to table is a bit redundant. I think we ought to do a stand-up vote and see where we're at on this thing. The ones that are gonna vote no on the motion are gonna vote no to, or vote yes to table it.
My question is, if we table it, assuming next year we're going to redo salaries again, and I think it's something we do every year.
Yeah.
By having this on our books, is that going to cause us an issue, or is this written for a certain school year?
I think Robert Rules of Order says this pretty much kills the motion for tonight.
This
Just
particular
for
motion?
tonight, yeah. I mean, you can bring it up every month, like Sean said, you can bring an action item up every month. You can do the same one over. But I might add, about a few years ago when we did the bus action item to contract our buses, I voted against it, another board member voted against it, who had 30 years fleet management, and he knew it was the wrong decision. And we voted, we're in the minority. But you know what, as boardsmanship, you just learn to go with the majority. The elected, I'm not preaching to you, I'm just looking at you. The taxpayers elect 9 board members, and we all have different opinions. I guess maybe now's the time to say, 4 weeks ago, my boy, let me have 2 minutes, please.
Okay.
4 weeks ago, my boy was deployed to Afghanistan. He's with the Chinook group. They do Chinooks, they fly Chinooks. 2 weeks ago, we got word that a Chinook crashed. Well, we knew probably, that was probably from his unit. So you can imagine what Mom and Dad thought about that. Well, it turned out to be Sergeant Patrick Hamburger, a good friend of my son's. He'd just taken a picture of him like the day before. So I guess, my vote on this has absolutely nothing to do with Veterans Day. Absolutely nothing. We can go into executive session and talk more about things. But I guess my vote is in honor of Sergeant Patrick Hamburger tonight, having the courage to do the tough thing. Because a lot of people out there are my friends, a lot of people out there, some people out there were here 14 years ago when we discussed, the school board at the time, I wasn't on it, discussed ripping a very good friend of mine, Kenny Gibson. And I was there in support of Kenny Gibson. But the board had other things on their mind. They ripped Kenny Gibson. And maybe that was one of the things that made me want to, run for the board. Because I thought Kenny Gibson had, I thought he was a great person. But the board had other things in mind. And you know what? It turned out all right. Just like the busing thing, that turned out all right too. Believe me, folks, I have a lot of respect for you guys out there. This is going to turn out all right. It really will. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Well, it's tabled for this month.
There's gotta be a vote.
Oh, so, I'm sorry.
There's gotta be a vote.
That's
We
fine.
don't know?
So we got to do a roll call on it.
Jacobson,
Yes.
Showcott,
Yes.
Delmeyer,
No.
Donovan,
No.
Kleinschmidt,
Yes.
Lightline,
No.
none,
Yes.
Ochsner, no, Malloy,
Yes. Okay, for this month, or?